especially for millennials, we are, there's just so much pressure on us to have it all figured out, to have to fucking be earning like 6 figures right off the bat, and just be amazing and like glittery and sparkly like how all the people we follow on Instagram look. And honestly, that is not how it is. This video is for those of you who just graduated from college or are about to graduate from college and you're feeling like, what am I even doing? What was it all for? So like now I've got hundreds of thousands or at least thousands of dollars of student debt and I've got nothing to show for it. This video is for those of you who are basically feeling like that, because that's how I felt after I graduated from college. And if you're new to this channel, I created this channel with my best friend Ray, and in our videos we always give you guys practical tips and advice on what you can do depending on what's going on in your life or certain things that you're dealing with. And we don't ever give you bullshit advice. What we do is we always try and give advice based on what we've experienced and what has helped us. So if you feel like you can relate to us and our stories and our characters, then stick around for our videos, watch more, and hopefully it helps you guys, because that's what we're here for. I just got a brand new camera, the Canon M50. Let me just show you really quick my setup, because this is totally newbie beginner YouTuber setup. It's on top of the box that it came in, and then like fucking, I don't know, just like box of candy snacks on top. So that's what I'm working with here. I just wanted to show you guys, because you just learn as you go along, and that's what I found life to be. And honestly, that's how it's been ever since I graduated from college. Don't worry though, it's not just gonna be about me like, oh my god, my sad story. Like, I'm gonna be telling you straight up what it was like, because I think a lot of us are kind of just like struggling on our own without really sharing what's really fucking going on. I want to validate your guys' feelings and your experience, and for you to know that it's not your fault, and there's a lot of different reasons that contribute to what's going on, and also that there's always a solution, which is why I want you to stick around to the end of this video, because I'm also going to be providing you guys some actual practical tips on how you can start to reintegrate yourself back into society. Let's get straight into it. What is life really like after college, and how can you prepare for it? Slash, if you're going through it already, what are some things that you can do? I went to community college for about 3 years, was like still trying to figure out. Then this has been a very long journey. So like I went to community college while all my other friends went off to universities, UCLA, UCI, like wherever, and was like doing the college thing. And then I was in community college for 3 years. I thought I wanted to study jazz drumming, so I went hardcore into the music. And then last minute, I got cold feet. I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like, I don't want to do this. I can't see myself doing this. I think I'm going to really regret it if I keep going with it. So I decided to dash all that and just kind of like start from scratch. So add on another year of community college, just got my GEs done, and then I transferred to UCSB, finally feeling like I caught up to like all my friends. Even when I get in to UCSB, I'm still like, wait, I don't know what I want to study. I mean, I transferred with the intention of majoring in Portuguese, only to realize UCSB offers Portugal Portuguese, not Brazilian Portuguese. So, you know, I ended up choosing instead to study communication, because I was like genuinely interested in how humans communicate, partially because at that time, or I guess technically in my whole life, I'd been struggling with like making friends, and like a little bit of social anxiety and things like that. So that was kind of like my motivation for wanting to study, because I was like, how do you be a human? Like, how does that work? Okay, here's the point where I graduate, right? I'm feeling so amazing, like holy shit, I did it. Now I'm joining like all my other peeps in the adult world who are like doing the thing and like working and like being adults. Pretty much everything came crashing down almost immediately after. And I think this is the part maybe where a lot of you guys can relate. If you are going through or went through what I experienced. So graduate, feeling awesome, moved back into my parents' house, and I think it was just like I had all these expectations of like what I thought my life was gonna be after college, which in retrospect I think my expectations were actually what the higher education system and our parents and society in general painted for us in terms of what they believe is gonna happen after you graduate from college, aka like, you know, you do an internship, then you land into that awesome sweet job, and then from there you just climb the corporate ladder, or like you, I don't know, create a startup or your own company. Like, I really don't know, because that's not what I experienced. What I did experience is moving back in with my parents, falling into like severe, I mean, I can't say clinical depression because I never got like diagnosed or whatever, but like I felt fucked up for like 7 months. Anxiety in general was just like intense. So it was just like all these things happening at the same time, like the no job, moving back in with parents, feeling like a shell of my former self because I ended things with this girl that I really liked, and then just like not meeting the expectations of what I thought life was going to be after college. So I guess the whole point of me, like without rambling on for too long, I guess the whole point of me saying this is to say that if you are feeling depressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling like you have no purpose, if you're feeling like quitting, if you're feeling like everything that you've done up till now was such a waste of time, and if you're feeling like you're running out of time to get things done, let me just say, first of all, that you're definitely not the only one. Our education system doesn't make sense for so much of what modern society is becoming. With the advancement of technology, there's new jobs being created every day, as well as like all these other older jobs becoming automated by technology. And it's funny, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were saying how you could take somebody from like the 1950s, 1940s, plunk that person into like a right now class, like 2019 class, and the only difference that they'll say is probably like, oh, the chalkboards are white now. Basically, that means that the content is the same. Another reason why it feels so scary after you graduate is because, think about it, we are brought up in a very structured society. If you look at how we're raised from the age of pre-K all the way to college and then even grad school, we're put in a very, very structured society. We're told how to get a good grade. We're told what is acceptable in terms of our behavior, to raise our hand to say yes, or to raise our hand to give an answer. Like, basically my point is that we're told exactly what we need to do in order to be successful in that environment of school. Once you leave that environment, aka graduate from college or high school, and you're in the adult world, there ain't none of that shit. There is none of that, unless, again, you get plunked into what all that education was for, which means the 9 to 5, or, you know, just like your typical job, where again everything is structured for you, everything is set up, and that's how they meant it to be. That's how it was crafted for. You know, like you have your boss gives you assignments, your assignments are due by such and such date, they have to be made in this particular way, like everything is very structured. So I feel like I've been talking bad about college, like it's the devil's place or something like that, and it's not really. You get to have experiences that most people who don't get this opportunity have. I think actual education-wise, college really is the best choice for people who want to study sciences and math. But I think, especially nowadays with all these resources available online, where we can literally pick and choose what we want to learn, I think like there's a lot of different ways that you can get that education without having to be hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Most people I've talked to, they use a very small fraction of what they've actually learned in college in what they're doing now. I would say like the main reason why I would recommend college, if you're not doing like sciences or anything, is to just really enjoy that time in your life. I think the biggest thing that you're going to encounter when you transition from college to regular adult life, and I put quotes around adult because it's like, what the fuck even is an adult? And like, I don't like that word, so I always just like demeanor it by putting quotes, and now I'm just putting quotes on everything that I'm saying. Anyway, I think the biggest thing that you'll find when you transition is that you are going to be forced to look at yourself, to really ask yourself the real questions that you maybe never had the chance to when you were in college, because we were just so distracted by all the stimuli. We never really got the chance to be like, wait, who am I really? Like, who am I really? College life is nothing like after college life. After college life, it's all up to you, and that's the beautiful part. It really is 1,000,000% all up to you. And I guess I should be careful in saying that because we all have different financial circumstances or parental circumstances or whatever it is. Sometimes there are literally constraints that hold us back from being able to pursue these things. But again, if you have a phone, if you have a computer, then you have the power to learn anything you want, to educate yourself on anything you want. And so I would say, don't limit yourself, because for a long time after I graduated, I was limiting myself without really thinking about it. I was just feeling really down on myself. I was like, well, if I can't do anything with this degree, if I worked so hard for this degree and I'm finding that I can't do anything as in like find a conventional job to make me feel like all that education and time and effort was worth it, then what am I even doing here? What was it all for? Like, am I a useless, worthless person? And again, it has nothing to do with that. You are fully, totally capable, and maybe some of you are rolling your eyes at me right now saying like, oh, there's that self-help bullshit again. Like, I don't need this shit. Like, let me tell you, like, when I say this, I'm saying this to you because this is what I had to say to myself, and what I wasn't saying to myself at the beginning, but this is what I had to learn how to say to myself and really consciously remind myself, because like, that's the fucked up part about after college. Like, our self-worth goes down so low because the expectations are set so high in what we're supposed to be doing. Yet again, college did not prepare us for all the things that we can do once we're out of college. So anyway, that was a super long rant, but now I'm gonna get into some of the practical tips that you guys can start doing so that you can start living your best life. So one of the first things I would say to do is to first figure out what's really important to you. Like, who are you? What are your values? In other words, what makes you feel happy? And I know that's such a basic word, and you're just like, oh no, like smoking weed makes me happy, or drinking alcohol. Sorry, I don't mean to like mock you guys, but this is, I guess I'm kind of making fun of myself because after I graduated from college, I was like still heavy on the party scene, just like trying to escape, you know, or trying to reinvent how my life was before I graduated. So I didn't really have a sense of what was it that made me happy, because again, I was trying to mask it with all these other things that are outside of me, the external things. And so the very, very first step is to really stop looking at the outside things and go inward. And I know, again, that sounds super spiritual, but really at the end of the day, this is your life. This is your life, and nobody else can take that away from you. Sure, they can put expectations or pressures on you or say things to you to try and sway you to do things, but at the end of the day, it is all you. Just take small steps every day, because, you know, like, don't think that you're gonna figure it out today or tomorrow or even next week. Like, trust me, even to get to where I am today, it has been a journey. Lots of ups and downs. It almost feels like more downs than ups, but that's okay, because when I come up from those downs, it feels fucking awesome. And each time it's like, so like, imagine it's like this, right? But it's not like staying the same. It's like when I go down, it goes up higher, and then when I go down a little bit, it goes up higher, and so on and so forth. Look into certain careers, if we're still on the career track, look into certain careers that fit into that have these certain values. For example, one of my top values is to be of service to others, which obviously that's like every single job, but on a more practical level, it was like occupational therapy, nursing, like things like that. And then that led me going to community college again, like round 2, which led me to taking other classes and other classes and other classes. And at some point I realized I didn't want to do occupational therapy. I thought I wanted to become a holistic doctor. I realized that's not what I wanted to do. Then I thought I wanted to become like a yoga teacher. I realized that's totally not what I want to do. And then, since then it's been an incredible and crazy and confusing journey. But my point in saying all that is that you have to just start. It's not going to feel like a perfect fit from day 1, and maybe not even from day 50. But the point of starting in the first place is that each little breadcrumb is going to lead you to the next breadcrumb, to the next one, and to the next one, and to the next one. And as you're going along this journey, I think the most important thing is to get in tune with what you're feeling. Meaning, like, even though, for example, a part of me was just like, I don't think occupational therapy is what I want to do, but it seems interesting. Like, I'd be down to explore it. Do it. Don't expect it to be like fireworks and church wedding bells and like all that stuff, because it may not, and I think most of the time it won't be. So if there's something that slightly interests you, I would say explore that. Whether that means getting books on it, there's tons of free audiobooks on YouTube, or watching videos on YouTube, or reading blog articles, or talking to people in the field, even like trying to see if you can email faculty from certain schools that are in that field. There are resources all around you, so you just have to explore it. And you have to in order to figure out if you like it or not, because as I was going on my journey of exploring occupational therapy, I started volunteering at a clinic, but I was like, fuck this, and I stuck with it for like 6 months. But my point in saying that is that you literally have to try. Like, I wouldn't have known that I wouldn't like it if I hadn't gone that deep into it, because it's easy from like a distance, just like with like somebody you think is cute on the street, right? It's easy to be like, oh damn, they fine, and then you think about it, you go home that day, you think about them, you're fantasizing about them, whatever, and then maybe one day you actually meet that person, you get introduced to them, and they're like super boring or very superficial, or just not who you thought they were gonna be. But you wouldn't have known if you hadn't like actually had that interaction with them. So it's kind of like the same thing with finding out like what your purpose is, and I put quotes around that too, because there's not just one purpose. Today that word gets thrown around a lot, and I say it a lot myself too, but I don't want you guys to feel bad for not having found your purpose, because like I said, life is a continuously evolving thing. Like, your life is like this like constantly morphing creature that's like it's not just a single static thing, is what I'm saying. It's gonna keep changing and moving around, just like your purpose. Just focus on what feels good to you in that moment. And so maybe some of you are saying, well, I literally don't know, Sherry. Like, I have no clue. I'm so lost. Like, I've never been interested in I've never been like passionate about one thing in my whole life. Like, I don't even know what that looks like. Take out a piece of paper, or you can type it up on your computer, and just like, what do they call it? Like brain fart writing? No, not brain fart writing. Like vomit writing, diarrhea writing. What, you know what I mean? Like, you just kind of write out. Set the timer for like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever. And just like start writing nonstop about things that you've enjoyed in the past. And it doesn't even have to be anything related to your career. We all have things that we've liked, right? As human beings, we have things we like, we have things that we don't like. And so focus on those things that you do like, and don't try and weigh any sense of importance on them. Just get them out on that piece of paper. And then from there you can look at it. And even if they seem vague, or even if they seem totally unrelated to something that you could make into a career, that's where you want to start. You want to just like maybe take a class. If it's dancing, take a hip hop dance class, take a salsa dancing class, or start watching videos and learning how to dance on your own at home. Like, you never know how things are going to turn out. Say you start like watching videos at home and you learn how to dance choreographies at home, or whatever. Like, maybe that's what inspires you to start taking classes in person. And then maybe when you start going to those classes, you realize like, holy shit, like this is what I want to do. Or you meet somebody there and they introduce you to this totally unrelated topic, and you're like, oh man, that sounds really cool, like I want to try that. And then you do that, and then that leads you somewhere else, and leads you somewhere else, and leads you somewhere else. And that's how life is. And also, I don't have my shit figured out either. I feel like I hardly ever do. And something really real about that is that nobody ever has their shit 100% figured out. And if you don't have it figured out, that's fucking awesome, because it means that you're exploring and you're being confronted with new situations each and every day, and your brain is like really having to work to try and make sense of everything, which is awesome. Because when we feel like we have 100% everything figured out, honestly, like, that's so boring to me. And I know it's so easy to say that because like I've been there where I'm just like, I have nothing figured out, like, this sucks. I wish I had something to hold on to that would make me feel like I'm valuable. I guess what I'm saying is, like, I get it. It sucks when you're in the moment, but let me tell you that that's the most exciting part, because when you feel like you don't know what you're doing, honestly, like, what that means is that there's so much to explore. Like, there's so freaking much. There's so much to explore that your brain's like, oh, I don't know where to start. And that's an awesome place to be, rather than, like, for example, going to a restaurant and there's like one item on the menu. You're just like, yeah, can I get the one item on the menu? Yeah, thanks. I'd much rather go to a restaurant where they have like 50 options than the restaurant that has one option, because it's like, when I go to the restaurant that has 50 options, I'm like, oh my god, that looks so good. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, that looks so good. Oh my god, it all looks so good. I'll take one of everything. Alright guys, I think that's the end of this video. I honestly could go on talking forever about this. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about it. And I know that this is part of my purpose in terms of helping other millennials or people in similar situations just like feel better about where they're at. So I hope you guys found this video enjoyable and informational and interesting. If you did, and also if you know people who are going through a similar thing, please share with them this video. Let them know that they're not alone, and let them know that you also get it too, because like, we're all in the same shit pile together. So let's all emerge from it together, and that's why I created this video. If you have an idea of what you want to take for your next step, please leave a comment below and I'll be here to cheer you on. Or if you want to message me directly, my link to my Instagram is below as well. Let's stay connected, and please like, subscribe, share, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye! And if you're new to this channel, I created this. Nope. And if you're new to this channel, we create take number 105,000 million gazillion blah, 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 blah. And if you're new to this channel, for those of you who just graduated from college or are about to graduate from college, god damn it, phlegm in my throat every time. Please leave a comment below what your next steps are on getting out of this shithole. Sorry, I shouldn't call it shithole, but I have a potty mouth, so, you know, if you got a problem with that, you're on the wrong channel, honey.